Hey, English learners, welcome back to the English Leap Podcast, your cozy little place to learn easy English through real everyday conversations. I'm Anna.
And I'm Jake. And today's episode is a little different.
This is a B2 to C1 English listening challenge.
That means the conversation will feel natural, a little fast in places, and full of real expressions, strong opinions, stories, and advanced words.
Your challenge is simple. Try to follow the whole conversation first without stopping.
Don't worry if you miss a few words. That's normal.
Listen for the main idea, the emotion, the stories, and the words that keep coming back.
Later in Word Tour, we'll slow down the most important words from today's conversation and explain them clearly.
And before we continue, we just want to say thank you.
Truly, we're so thankful for the wonderful response you've shown to English Leap Answer Builder.
It makes us really happy to know that it's helping you build longer, warmer, and more natural answers in English.
And to anyone who is new to our channel, English Leap Answer Builder is a practical PDF handbook that helps you turn those short answers into fuller, more confident answers step by step. It helps you add a little more feeling, reason, and detail, so your English sounds more like real conversations.
And we wanted to make it easy to access. If you're already an English Leap Club member, it's included in your membership.
And if you only want the answer builder, you can get it separately too.
The link is below in the description. And now let's come back to today's challenge.
First, just listen. Challenge yourself.
At the end, give yourself a score. Did you understand 50%? 70%? 90%? Or almost everything?
Ready? Let's begin.
All right, so today's topic is something we don't talk about enough. Silence. Not the awkward kind, the powerful kind.
Which sounds strange at first, right? Because we live in a world that rewards talking. The loudest person in the meeting gets noticed. The person who posts the most gets attention.
Exactly. But the more I studied this, the more I realized silence isn't empty. It's actually full of information, and most people are just too uncomfortable to sit inside it.
So let's start with why silence makes people so uncomfortable in the first place.
Honestly, because it feels like a gap that needs to be filled. The second a conversation goes quiet, our brain panics a little.
It's like our nervous system reads silence as a problem to solve instead of a moment to simply exist in.
Right. And that's exactly why people talk too much in interviews, in negotiations, in arguments. They can't tolerate the pause.
Which brings us to the first real power of silence. It makes other people talk.
Say more.
There's a technique used by negotiators and even therapists. You ask a question, and then you simply stop. You don't fill the silence, you don't rephrase, you don't add a comment, you just wait.
And what happens?
The other person almost always breaks first. They keep talking to fill the gap, and often that's when they reveal what they actually think or want.
So silence becomes a kind of pressure, but a very gentle one.
Exactly. Nobody's being aggressive. You're just refusing to rescue the silence.
I actually used this by accident once.
Oh, here we go.
No, listen. I was negotiating my rent with my landlord, and I asked for a lower price. He didn't answer immediately, and instead of repeating myself or explaining more, I just froze. I didn't know what to say, so I said nothing.
And?
He got uncomfortable and said, "Okay, how about we meet in the middle?"
Wait, so your rent negotiation skill was accidental social anxiety?
Basically, yes.
Laughter?
That's actually the funniest accidental use of a psychological technique I've ever heard.
I'll take the win, however it comes.
But there's a real lesson hidden in that story. The silence didn't come from confidence, but it still worked, because the other person filled the gap with a concession.
So even nervous silence can be powerful, as long as you don't rush to break it.
Which is a relief for anyone who isn't naturally smooth in conversations.
Okay, let's talk about the second power of silence, and this one's more personal. Silence as thinking space.
This is the one I actually struggle with.
Go on.
I used to think being smart meant having a fast answer ready for everything. Someone asks a question, and I'd answer instantly, sometimes before I even fully understood the question.
And how did that go?
Not great. I gave a lot of answers I regretted later because I was answering the question I heard, not the question they actually asked.
So what changed?
A mentor once told me, "The pause before you answer is not weakness. It's where the good answer lives." And I started practicing letting 3 seconds of silence pass before I responded to anything important.
Just 3 seconds?
Just 3. It sounds tiny, but it's enough time for your brain to catch up with your mouth.
That's such a small habit for such a big shift.
It genuinely changed how people perceive me at work. People started saying I seemed more thoughtful, more in control, when really I was just buying myself 3 seconds.
So silence can literally change how credible you sound.
It can. Because when you answer too fast, it can look like you didn't really consider the question. But a short pause signals, "I'm actually thinking about this."
Okay, but I have to push back a little bit here.
Good, I was waiting for it.
Because silence isn't always powerful. Sometimes it's just avoidance dressed up as wisdom.
Say more.
Like, if someone hurts your feelings and you go silent instead of telling them, that's not strategic silence. That's just conflict avoidance.
That's fair. And honestly, that's an important line. Silence can be protection or it can be a wall. And those two things look identical from the outside.
So how do you know the difference?
I think the difference is intention. Strategic silence is chosen. You're silent because you're listening, processing, or letting someone else speak. Avoidant silence is silence because you're scared of what will happen if you speak.
One is a decision, and the other is a reaction.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people call their fear being calm when really they're just frozen.
That's uncomfortably accurate.
It should be because we've all done it. We've all gone quiet in a conversation not because we were being wise, but because we didn't know what to say, and silence felt safer than being wrong.
So the question isn't, should I be silent? The question is, why am I silent right now?
That's the real test.
Can I bring in an image here?
Please.
Imagine your mind is a glass of water that's been shaken up, full of little particles, thoughts, opinions, reactions, all swirling around.
Okay,
If you keep shaking that glass by talking constantly, reacting instantly, filling every gap, the water never settles. It stays cloudy.
but if you stop shaking it, if you sit in silence for even a moment, the particles slowly sink and the water becomes clear.
So silence isn't nothing happening, it's the water settling.
Exactly. Clarity doesn't usually arrive while you're talking. It arrives right after. In the quiet part, everyone rushes past.
That explains why some of my best ideas come in the shower and never in meetings.
Because the shower is the one place nobody's asking you to perform.
Let's talk about the third power of silence, and I think this is the one most people underestimate. Silence as respect.
How so?
When someone is sharing something difficult and you stay quiet instead of jumping in with advice or your own story or a solution, that silence communicates something words can't.
It says, I'm here. I'm not trying to fix you. I'm just listening.
Exactly. And I think we've all had the experience of talking to someone who listens badly, where you can feel them waiting for their turn to speak instead of actually hearing you.
Versus someone who just lets the silence sit after you finish talking instead of immediately jumping in.
That pause tells you they actually absorbed what you said.
It's such a small thing, but it changes the entire emotional weight of a conversation.
And here's the tricky part. That kind of silence takes discipline, because our instinct is to comfort quickly, to solve quickly, to move past uncomfortable emotions quickly.
But sometimes people don't need a solution. They need a witness.
That's beautifully said.
I have my moments.
Laughter.
Okay, one more story, because I think this ties it together. Last year, my sister went through a really hard breakup, and my first instinct was to give her advice. You should do this. You should say that. You should move on.
Classic older sibling energy.
Exactly. And none of it landed. She'd just nod and go quiet. So one night, I decided to try something different. I just sat with her and said almost nothing for 2 hours.
2 hours of silence?
Not total silence, just a lot less talking from me. Mostly just, that makes sense. And I'm here.
And?
At the end, she said that was the most helped she'd felt in weeks. Not because I solved anything, but because I didn't try to.
So the silence wasn't empty, it was the support.
It was the support. And I think that's the part people miss. We think helping means talking. Sometimes helping means getting out of the way.
Okay, so let's bring this together. We've talked about silence that pressures people to reveal themselves, silence that gives your brain time to think, and silence that makes someone else feel truly heard.
3 very different jobs for the same tool.
And I think the common thread is this. Silence isn't the absence of communication. It's actually a form of communication, just a quieter one.
The problem is, most of us were never taught how to use it. We were taught how to talk well, but not how to be quiet well.
Being quiet well. I like that phrase.
It's a skill, just like speaking is. And like any skill, it takes practice to stop treating silence like something you need to escape.
All right, that was the challenge part. Before we explain the words, give yourself a quick score.
Did you understand 50%? 70%? 90%? Or almost everything?
Now let's slow down the strongest words from today's conversation.
This is Word Tour.
Yes, this is where we slow down useful words from today's conversation and learn how to use them naturally.
Today's words are C1 level words, but we'll keep them clear, practical, and easy to use.
Our first word is composure.
Composure, composure.
Composure means staying calm and in control of your emotions, especially under pressure.
In today's episode, we talked about how silence can help you keep your composure during a tense conversation.
You could say, she kept her composure even when she disagreed with everyone in the room.
Or, a short pause before answering helps me maintain my composure.
Our next word is discernment.
Discernment, discernment.
Discernment means the ability to judge well, especially when a situation is unclear.
In today's episode, it means knowing the difference between wise silence and fearful silence.
You could say, it takes discernment to know when to speak and when to listen.
Or, with more discernment, she chose her words far more carefully.
Our next word is candor.
Candor, candor.
Candor means honesty and openness in the way you speak.
In today's episode, we talked about silence not being the opposite of candor, but sometimes the space that makes candor possible.
You could say, he spoke with real candor once he felt safe enough to stop performing.
Or, candor is easier when you're not afraid of the silence that follows.
Our next word is receptive.
Receptive, receptive.
Receptive means open and willing to listen to or accept something.
The problem is, most of us were never taught how to use it. We were taught how to talk well, but not how to be quiet well.
Being quiet well. I like that phrase.
It's a skill, just like speaking is. And like any skill, it takes practice to stop treating silence like something you need to escape.
All right, that was the challenge part. Before we explain the words, give yourself a quick score.
Did you understand 50%, 70%, 90%, or almost everything?
Now let's slow down the strongest words from today's conversation.
This is Word Tour.
Yes, this is where we slow down useful words from today's conversation and learn how to use them naturally.
Today's words are C1 level words, but we'll keep them clear, practical, and easy to use.
Our first word is composure.
Composure, composure.
Composure means staying calm and in control of your emotions, especially under pressure.
In today's episode, we talked about how silence can help you keep your composure during a tense conversation.
You could say, she kept her composure even when she disagreed with everyone in the room.
Or, a short pause before answering helps me maintain my composure.
Our next word is discernment.
Discernment, discernment.
Discernment means the ability to judge well, especially when a situation is unclear.
In today's episode, it means knowing the difference between wise silence and fearful silence.
You could say, it takes discernment to know when to speak and when to listen.
Or, with more discernment, she chose her words far more carefully.
Our next word is candor.
Candor, candor.
Candor means honesty and openness in the way you speak.
In today's episode, we talked about silence not being the opposite of candor, but sometimes the space that makes candor possible.
You could say, he spoke with real candor once he felt safe enough to stop performing.
Or, candor is easier when you're not afraid of the silence that follows.
Our next word is receptive.
Receptive, receptive.
Receptive means open and willing to listen to or accept something.